Well, hey folks, my name is Brad, and today I've brought my metal detector to this very special place. I received an email from one of my viewers named John inviting me to metal detect his family land that's been in his family for generations and generations. And in less than a year, all of these trees are going to be clear cut and the land bulldozed to make way for a housing development. So this may just be our last chance to find a few cool old things in the ground that belong to his family. Now, if this is one of my first videos that you've seen, I post one of these every single Friday. So if you like what you see today, consider subscribing or just come on back next week. I'm gonna get started and see what we can find. Well, I'm getting closer and closer to the main home foundation, closer to the road. You can probably hear cars going by right behind the camera here. And I'm finding more and more, like modern trash, within the last 60, 70 years. I just found this 16-ounce Pepsi bottle. No idea how old that is. Maybe one of you folks can tell me by the bottom here. Not incredibly old, I don't think. It was just laying on the top. But I just got a beautiful target on the metal detector, and I looked down, and you can clearly see sticking out of the ground is copper wire still attached to these insulators. Now, these are not the old glass insulators I'm used to seeing on the top of telegraph poles. Oh, this one's busted. I was hoping there was two here. But they certainly are an old, looks like ceramic insulator still attached to the copper wire here. Really cool. I've never happened to find one this design, probably because it's a bit more modern than the big glass ones I usually find, but let's see if we can get this off of here. There we go. There's an H on this side, and this side says Pierce. And it looks like it's in perfect condition. Beauty. Geez, we'll screw that right into the wall for display. Old insulator. Not used to being so close to a road. So I've been on a roll finding little containers buried in the ground. We open them up on camera and they're empty. They're always empty. The hope is that it's going to be just full of treasure and coins. Well, I just found a little container, and it very clearly says bus fuses on it. But listen, there's something in it. Probably the fuses, right? Or maybe they used up all of the fuses and then put little gold coins inside. What do we think? Does that sound like gold coins? I'm not entirely sure how these things opened. Maybe it slid? It's not going to slide anymore. It's all rusted, so we got to jackknife it open, I guess. All right, moment of truth. We got it open. Dun da da da. Just the fuses. No gold coins this time. One of these times, these little containers that I find is going to have something good in it. Not treasure, but it was fun anyway. Well, in one of the very first emails the landowner sent me inviting me to this property, he said 22 years ago he lost a miraculous metal out here, and if I happened to find it, he would be forever grateful. And I just got a beautiful 92, 93 target on the metal detector. There is so much aluminum and trash in this ground, in this particular area. I thought for sure it was going to be another piece of flashing, but as we look down in the hole, I can't tell if that's aluminum or if it's silver, but it is a pendant of some kind. And I'm really hoping that this is what our friend John lost 22 years ago. It does say sterling at the bottom. Certainly looks like what we were looking for. Saint Christopher, be my guide. Wow. I really, really hope that this was his and this is what he lost so long ago. Wouldn't it be something? We're gonna go show it to him. Film his reaction if he allows.
Like, I found a spatula.
A spatula? In one of the first emails you sent me,
Sure.
you said that you lost something out here.
Yes, I did.
I don't know if this is it.
Oh my, whoa. No, that's not it.
That's not it?
That's not it, but that's interesting, because my, I mean, that's not it, but that's very, very close to it.
It's sterling silver.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to say how old it is. It's more than likely, 1900s, because they didn't write sterling and, grades of silver on items older than that. But, man, I was hoping that was yours.
Well, it's close. I mean, like, if you're going to find this here, like, you'll probably find what I'm looking for. It's very similar, though. But
Cool.
This is great.
That is a great find. Yeah.
No, my grandparents were Catholic, so this is definitely a Catholic relic.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of theirs then. Excellent.
Wow.
Well, in one of my last videos, I said, every time I find one of these things, I'm gonna show the camera because they're one of my favorites to find. Coming into this property, I was expecting to find things from like 1900 to 1950 when the building burnt down. But it's becoming more and more clear that we're finding older things. You may have already guessed what it was going to be before I showed you, but this is a very crushed jingle bell, Chrono Bell. And it's a newer variety. You can see that it was riveted on some leather here. The leather is still intact, some of it here. And it looks like it was stepped on this way, completely crushed. And this one even has a patent date on it, which never happens. Patent October 24th, 76 and May 14th, 78. So that's 1878, 76. But that's just the patent date. That doesn't mean necessarily that's when this was made. It would have very likely been in use well into the 1900s. So that's a great find. Unfortunately, we're not going to hear this one ring. A lot of work would have to go into it to do that, but still make a cool display piece. So thus far, we haven't found a ton of items that are from the middle of the 1800s, which we're pretty sure that's when this home was built. It's on a 1860s map. I'm not sure exactly what that reason is. Maybe it's because all of the modern stuff is above the older stuff and digging a lot of trash, not getting down to that older stuff. I'll show you the old things I found so far. This was more than likely horse tack or oxen back from when this was a working farm. We've got a nice old spoon and this single button that is gilt. It's got some flowers on there, but this is 1880s would be my guess. Now, all of that to say, the thing that I just found in this hole down here below me, I'm not sure. It could be from the 1950s, but it could be from the 1850s as well. Maybe one of you out there will recognize it. This is going to be the mystery item for the day. I have no idea what it is. But I thought it was interesting enough to show you folks. Now, at first I thought it was a crushed Chrono Bell. It is crushed, whatever it happens to be, but it has this dimpled pattern on this part. And then this part is smooth. It has a hole here, and it looks like it has a hole here. Now, I'm tempted to unfold it. Curious if there's something inside. Looks like it was gold plated. It's just full of dirt. Well, we will put this back together. Maybe one of you folks out there will know what this is definitively. I'll pin your comment to the top so that everybody can find out as well. Not sure. I'm leaning towards older, the older side of the occupancy here. Never know what we're gonna find. Let's keep searching. Well, I don't believe it. I almost never find things like this. But here we have number 2 for the day. a little religious medal. Could this one be John's? After I showed him the last one, he showed me the one he's currently wearing, and he said it's very similar to the one that he has on, and it's kind of like a long, oblong shape, small, more than likely aluminum, which I believe this one is as well. And this one certainly is a miraculous metal. You can see the M on there. Should we try this again? Let's go see if we can find him. We'll hand him this one. I like your spatula though.
Thank you. This could come in handy in the future. Might rebuild it. No. Of course, a casing.
Of course. Yeah, I see several golf balls around here too.
Yeah.
Golfer in the family? Or?
Sure. My father. What's that? Oh, really?
Is that one yours?
It could be. It's really hard to say. Wow. I mean, that looks just like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Man. I mean, I remember it being bigger.
Oh, maybe that one's not yours either.
Maybe it's not.
What are the odds you lose one? I find two, neither of them are yours. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, I'll hang on to it for now.
Please.
Unless...
Yeah, that looks like it might be a smaller version of what I'm looking for.
Okay. Well, we'll keep looking then.
Yeah.
So the foundation on this land is right along the road, and I don't know who does this, but it's not uncommon for folks to just kind of back up and unload all of their trash in these historic home foundations. Seems like maybe that's what happened here. There's a lot of modern trash in the cellar around the perimeter of it. So I've been avoiding that area. I'm kind of following a stone wall along the perimeter of the property, and I just got a piece of lead here, a disc. And you can see I've already taken the time to clean it off. My little spray bottle has alcohol in it, rubbing alcohol, and so it's already dried off, and it's hard to see without some side light. There's a number 57 in the center, and it says varieties. Most of us know what has 57 varieties, right? And up here, it's faint, but it does say Heinz. Now, I am not a bottle collector, and I know a lot of folks who do watch my videos are interested in the hobby of bottle collecting. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain this is a seal for the inside of a cap for a Heinz ketchup bottle or jar. Heinz was, as far as I understand, founded in the 1850s. This could be that old. Certainly people were still putting lead next to their food. Pretty interesting. 1850s maybe, early 1900s. If any of you out there know, let me know. Let the audience know. Well, what do we have here? Tiny one. I don't really know anything about bottles. If this is an old one or not. What do we have on the bottom here? Schenectady, New York. That's a good find. We're definitely going to take that one home. Beauty. Well, the more I wander, the more little structures I find. And for the most part, I don't know what any of them are. This one behind me, you can see it's a big circle. It looks like it was stacked stone, but it was covered with cement. And there's glass in it. Pulled this out. Looks like it's in perfect condition. Shenango, China. Newcastle, what is that, Pennsylvania? And I'm not really sure how old the structure is. I'm gonna guess it was in use all the way up to the 1950s when the place burnt down, but I'm not sure. But I did just find a really loud, deep target, and it ends up being similar, but very different to the last bell we found. This is, once again, a big brass bell, but this one obviously is not a jingle bell. It has a hole in the center, telephone bell. It could be a bicycle bell. It could be a bell that goes on the top of the shafts of a sleigh or a wagon. Hard to say, judging by, you know, the things that are in this foundation, whatever it happens to be right next to me. I'm gonna go with probably the most modern option, which is probably a telephone bell. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Fortunately, no dates on this one. Interesting anyways. Old telephone bell, maybe. Let me know what you think. All right, folks, well, I'm gonna call it a day. What an amazing opportunity to be able to find items and then be able to hand them to a descendant of the family at the end of the day. I had a blast. I have everything I found today out on this log. Let's take a look at them and we'll hand them over to John. So here we have the pile of my treasures for the day. In the way back, we have the Coke bottle next to a mason jar. I'm not sure if you would necessarily call that a seal. I think there was a rubber gasket that went on top of that, but it's a little glass insert for the lid to a mason jar. Have the insulator. I'm pretty sure this is a lipstick tube. One of the two bells I found today, I'm pretty sure that is a telephone bell, but it could also be a bicycle bell or a sleigh bell. Do you know what this is, John? Because I don't. I'm pretty sure it goes to a vehicle.
Well, I didn't fall off my car. I need to say that.
Has a copper pipe coming off it.
Okay, so it looks pretty old though.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody knows what it is. It says 1954 on it, so it doesn't get much easier than that to figure out how old it is, right?
It's a good clue.
We have a little hinge. We have the Heinz seal, the one button for the day. This was a mystery. We found 3 wheat cents. The Chrono Bell. I found a little box of fuses. I was really hoping there was going to be gold coins in here, but just fuses, unfortunately. And then the finds of the day, the 2 medals.
Wow. Yeah, those are surprising because I didn't drop them.
Those aren't yours.
Those aren't mine.
So there's still one out here somewhere.
Yeah.
Thanks, John,
You're
for
welcome,
the invitation.
man.
I had a blast. Thanks to you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully, see you next week.